Good morning, everyone. This is Erica with Aurora Heart Healing, and today I want to talk about service. Service in fulfilling our purpose, service in being of service to others, service as in being courageous. Because when we put our needs, I will say that one of the biggest shifts that I've had to do in my life is knowing when and how I can give of myself and not deplete myself, but also to give and to be of service. I am reading today from a book called Seeds of the Spirit. This is 1999 by Barbara Ann Brennan. These are all channeled messages. And each channeled message is from her highest self. I'm going to slaughter the pronunciation high on. And as I read this, I've been giving messages to clients for myself. And today I was asking, what do we need to talk about today? What does everyone listening here need to hear? And today I fell upon this message. So I'm going to read it for you. Service. We come together for the purpose of service. What is the service that you have birthed yourself into in this time of your being? Be well in the presence of your unique divine self. That is here now, radiating forth this note of love, this note of service. And I've talked about purpose and what it is that you're here for a few different times on my channel. And service is our purpose. What were you born here to do? What are your strengths? What is it that you are passionate about? I'm going to take this out for a moment. This is called the Clifton Strengths. And in this Clifton Strengths, my top 5 most powerful strengths as a human being, as myself, are restorative, which means I like to fix problems. I see something and I know if we do this and we do this and we do this like a puzzle piece, we can fix things. We can grow, we can evolve, and we can change the circumstances. That is one of my acts of service. Every day that I'm here and I get to sit at that desk over there and I get to work with people and really learn what is stopping them from really living their best selves, or what emotional trauma they're going through that might not allow them to feel as happy as they want to. I am restoring connection within themselves. I'm helping them find a solution to their problem. The next is connectedness. Connectedness is another one of my strengths, another one of my purposes, one of my services. And that is my unwavering faith that everything's going to be okay. And when I look around in the world today, I see how this is a superpower for me. When I've looked around, I'm going through a separation, a divorce, and through this whole process, I've looked to God and I've said, I have faith in you. You told me to not fight this. I literally heard it and felt it in my heart when he asked me for this. And I said, okay, I'm not going to fight you. I'm never going to fight for someone to stay. That's just not part of who I am, we can try to restore the connection and figure out what we're doing that is making this connection difficult. But I have faith. And in that faith, I have been able to create a beautiful, flourishing practice. In that faith, in that divine connectedness, I've been able to express my ability to help anyone that's watching this channel. That is an act of service because I hope that I'm inspiring you with each word that I'm putting out there, connecting dots that might not have been connected before, but today you get to connect them. Activator. This one is really cool because I am a catalyst. As an activator, I see the problem. I have faith that no matter what, there is something good that's going to come out of this. And I am willing to do the work to change. The clients that walk through my doors, sometimes they don't know what they're even here for. But I know that regardless of if it's 1 session, 10 sessions, if we're going to work for the rest of our lives together, I am a catalyst for change. I am going to help you move forward into your life, knowing deeper senses of yourself if you are willing to do the work. And that's huge. The willingness is important because some people are not willing. Some people think emotions are just, they're not important. Emotions are what fuel us. If I didn't have passion right now in this very moment, then I wouldn't be able to portray the full extent of what it is to serve my purpose. Imagine me sitting here saying, I help people. Yeah, it's really cool and it's really nice and I get to play and hang out and I'm helping people. They get to understand what I feel and they get to understand how they feel. There's no passion behind it. It's mundane. When we activate what is uncomfortable and we push past it, then we get into a deeper sense of pride in who we are. We get to hit a next level. And I know that sometimes people go backwards. Maybe you've been sober and you go back to drinking. Maybe you've been sober and you had stopped smoking weed and then you smoke again. I know that in my life, even currently, there's been times where I'm like, maybe it'd be just easier to go back to smoking. But also my activator inside me, my acts of service, the what is my purpose here, tells me no. I have to face the feelings because I am going to teach others that are willing to face their fears too. Earlier today, my client and I were talking and they were saying, oh yeah, some people say, I don't want to share how I feel because I want to be strong. It's actually the opposite. If you don't want to share how you feel, then you're in fear. And it's actually more courageous to be vulnerable than it is to be strong. Because strength Is it really strong when you're hurting others because you don't want to talk about the way you feel? Is it really strong if you have gone through sexual abuse, domestic violence, if you were neglected as a child, if you faced physical abuse? Is it strong if you don't tell anybody and you go and you hurt others because that's what you were exposed to? I know from experience, I hurt people way more when I refused to talk about the way that I felt. And I mean, way more. I thought I was doing them a service. If anything, I was hurting them because I was creating wedges between us. I was creating deep gashes and wounds because these people were like, why can't she? Why can't she love me? Or why is she so heartless or cold? My purpose, being an activator, turning ideas into action. The next thing that for me, my acts of service, my purpose here, the way that I am courageous is I know that every single thing that I learn, I can put into action. And my next strength is input. Reading. Right now, I have 3 books that I'm reading currently. The inner work, um, the inner work book for me to understand a little bit more about why I attracted an unemotionally available man. And that one is helping me personally understand myself a little bit better, understand why I thought that I could fix that or restore it, why it was that I wanted this kind of person. And as I've worked through that, I'm understanding more and more that it was a resonance. He's like my mom, very unemotionally available, actually to a place where they hurt others because they have no awareness of the way they make others feel. Reading that book helps me every single day with the clients that I have because I can share, hey, maybe this is hurting. Maybe this isn't serving you. And I never tell a client what to do and when to do it, but I do share my personal experience. Take with it what you will. So reading is something input. I'm strategic in my thinking. Every single thing that I read, I put out here. The emotions that I've learned through study. That is my act of service to all of you listening. I've listened to Aaron Doherty. I've listened to Brian Scott. I've listened to Alex from Next Level Soul. I've listened to Brene Brown. I am a forever learner. So that means that every single person that walks through my door, my service to them is the infinite knowledge that I have to bring and my life experience. Every person that walks through these doors, somehow, some way, I can resonate with them. The other day, I was working with a woman that had just recently been divorced, and I was talking to her about her divorce, and I was very grateful at the fact that I knew and understood how to talk to her about that. My connection, the connectedness, shows me that I can reflect that to you. I can talk to you about what it's like to be in that situation. Maybe not the same exact circumstances, but I can be someone that can hold space for someone that's been through that. Because now I know what it's like. I had no point of reference before. That input of experience showed me, oh crap. Sometimes, no matter how hard you try, no matter how many books on, I read Empowered Wife, I read all these different kind of books to help me become a better wife, when in reality, the person didn't want to be a better husband. And that was a big understanding to me of how many women are being told you just have to, you just need to, you. When in reality, it takes two to tango. And if the second party isn't putting their work in, their weight in, then it's all for naught. So everything that I learn, the way that I show up, is an act of service to every person that I work with. My fifth strength is again strategic thinking, and this is intellection. And it's really funny because this again is about how I put together information, my vocabulary, how I speak. So I get the information from all these different books. I've read thousands and thousands of books, from Dolores Cannon to Matthew Hussey to I used to have psychology books that I found at thrift stores that I would read just for fun. That was my pastime. And I'm able to talk to you all about it. Of course, I'm sorting and sifting and trying to see what works best for the society that we're in. How can I be more empathetic to you? How can I show you who I am? And how can I be there for you in a better way? But also, all of the information that I've read and learned about, it helps me become a better person. And lastly, my service to this world is showing up as the best version of me as much as I can, as often as I can, for whoever I can. That is an act of service. We can be so upset. The other day I was at the gym and I've made some friends there, and I was upset and I just kind of just didn't talk to anybody. And I felt like I wasn't showing up the best for them, but I was showing up the best for me. And that was good. It felt good to show up for me, because what if I would have been mean to them? What if I would have said something to be offensive because I was feeling some type of way? Would that be a service to others? Or would that be selfish of me because I wanted that or I needed that in that moment? Sometimes we can be lashing out from the emotional state that we're in, and then we regret it, and then it's a bunch of other people in the pain instead of just us. We come together for the purpose of service. I think of church when I think of that. Us coming together for something greater. There has been some misconstrued things that's happened through religion. Yes, I've seen it. I've experienced it. But I've also been able to see how there's beauty. If we take the human out of certain situations, it's amazing the types of programs that are there for youth. There's Bible studies where people can open up and share. There's beauty even when there is pain. How can we come together for the purpose of service? How can we do that? And if we know our own purpose, then we're able to play on that. We're able to share that more. But how many of you know what your purpose is? How many of you lost your sense of purpose through work, through heartbreak, through pessimism, through doubt, through experiences that said, no, you can't make it? Maybe even through self-sabotage. You had everything that you wanted and needed, but there was still something missing, and there was an emptiness inside, and you didn't know that it was actually you. I listened to a podcast the other day, and it was talking about how this husband, it was a psychologist that was talking to someone, and the husband was saying, she's not bringing me peace. She doesn't bring me peace. My life isn't peaceful. She's not bringing me peace. And the psychologist said, whoa, she's not responsible for your peace. You are. And if you're not feeling peaceful within yourself, then that's a you problem, not a her problem. You are the problem right there because you're expecting someone else to bring you peace that you don't feel within yourself. And you can leave this relationship, but you're still not going to be peaceful. And that was huge to me to listen to that act of service of a man stopping and saying, listen to yourself. His mind, his knowledge, his wisdom being imparted on someone else that did not know any better. That's a great act of service. If we were to listen a little bit more, then we could see how the information that's around us, all the answers are laid out. It's just up to us to sit and listen. What is the service that you have birthed yourself into at this time of your being? What were you born to do? What were you born to do? Some people were born to know numbers and they can help others, but they keep that to themselves. Some people know how to build amazing works of art, furniture, but then they cower away and they say, I can't do that. It's not realistic. And we're denying our true beauty to others. Be well in the presence of your unique divine self that is here now. When I first started doing energy work, I knew that there was something deep inside me that fundamentally shifted. Everything changed. I was different. And the people that I did my heart wall studies on, I knew they were different too. I could sense it. I could feel it. I could see it. And when I first started, I was so scared. I was so scared to talk about this, to put this out there. People are going to think I'm bad. People are going to think I'm wrong. I use a pendulum and people are getting scared of me. They're thinking I'm doing witchcraft. They're thinking I'm doing this or that. No more. This is who I am. And I've been so blessed to change lives through what I've done. Because knowing what my service is, knowing who I am and what I have to offer, the world around me gives me faith to keep going and keep doing it. Gives me that opportunity to say, yeah, and I don't believe in what you do. Okay, I know 10 people that do. And it's not a bad thing. You can believe whatever you want to. I love and accept who you are for who you are, and it doesn't have to be exactly the way I see it. That's an act of service, being open, being kind, being willing to listen. Today, I want you to stand up and think, what service do you have in this world? What is your purpose? Who are you? That beautiful, unique person that lives inside of you. Who are you? And what do you have to bring to this world? Because it radiates of love. It radiates change. It might be one moment in the life of someone else, but this is actually a ripple effect into the lives of many. My daughter, my youngest daughter, and all of my children, unfortunately, have been called the N-word. My one child, my youngest, the last time that she was called that, because she's been called it several times, unfortunately, she came to me and she said, "Mommy, why would someone call me that?" And I said, "Unfortunately, it's probably either something that they've picked up on the streets or something they're being taught at home, because no one gets taught. No one just says it because they're taught that. She was told, I don't want to sit with you because you're an N-word." And my heart hurt for her. But I told her, let's do a Ho'oponopono practice and let's forgive them and forgive ourselves for the pain that it caused us and send them love and thank you for teaching me what not to do in my life, who I want to be more of. And as we did that, I understood that the ripple that she is going to have is that she is not going to hold hate in her heart. Now think of the opposite. She comes to me and she's called the N-word. And I say, screw them. They're stupid. They're an idiot. They're horrible. They're bad people. Hate them. What ripple is that going to take out on the world? What is the ripple that you want to leave? What is the service that you want to bring to this world? Because we can either be selfish and angry and sit in our stew, or we can be pride, brave, courageous, loving, caring, understanding, inspirational. I encourage every single one of you to understand their acts of service, their purpose. Because when we have our purpose, when we know what we offer this world, we don't come from a place of selfishness. We don't come up from a place of hurt and pain and anger, bitterness and resentment. We come from a place of love. Because no matter how hard our life gets, we know that there is something bigger than us that we're able to enact in this world. So my challenge for you is find your passion. I would love to hear what your passion is. Please comment, tell me. It inspires me to know that I got you thinking, that I got you understanding or knowing who you are and what you have to offer to this world. With all the love in my heart, all the understanding in my mind, and the presence of my body, I love you all. Have a wonderful day. And I love the service you have to bring to this world.